According to insiders, the king's condition may be far more serious than the palace has ever admitted. Just minutes ago, Prince William and Princess Anne appeared together and delivered news the country had feared but never expected to hear. So suddenly, reports suggest King Charles suffered a severe cardiac episode inside Windsor Castle, one so serious it allegedly forced doctors to suspend every royal duty indefinitely. Before we go further, subscribe now, because what happened behind that castle door may be the most consequential family reckoning the monarchy has faced in years. William stood at the lectern in the white drawing room. His voice stayed controlled. Anne's did not. Sources say the moment the prince reached his final sentence, the room fell into a silence so complete that even the palace clock seemed unbearably loud. William reportedly explained that his father had suffered an acute cardiac episode following a private briefing, collapsed without warning, and required emergency treatment. Doctors allegedly found cardiovascular complications severe enough to leave the king unable to perform his constitutional duties, the daily work of approving state business and meeting government officials. Allegedly, William paused before saying simply, "My father." According to those present, Anne had already rejected an aide's suggestion to call the crisis a temporary indisposition. She reportedly insisted that softer words would only feed rumors and hide what Charles had actually endured. Then, according to a documented medical account, came the detail that changed everything. The king had lost consciousness and remained unresponsive for several critical minutes. When he became responsive again, he allegedly didn't ask about ceremonies or unfinished paperwork. He reportedly asked only one thing: whether William and Anne had been told. Insiders say that single question revealed exactly who he trusted when protocol no longer mattered. As the room emptied, sources claim a senior private secretary carried the sealed red dispatch box, the case used for urgent government papers, not toward the king's suite, but toward William. The gesture was quiet. Its meaning reportedly was not. But while the nation absorbed the announcement, the deeper story was allegedly unfolding behind Windsor's guarded doors, where a son, a sister, and a queen were forced to face a possibility none of them had prepared for. William reportedly retreated to a private sitting room, removed his cufflinks with unsteady hands, and placed them on the table as though even their weight had become too much. Anne, according to insiders, carried a different burden entirely. She allegedly knew her brother's habits, his pride, the way he hid exhaustion behind ceremony, and she reportedly blamed herself for not pushing harder. Sources say she disclosed that Charles had suffered breathlessness, dizziness, and chest pressure for weeks and had dismissed every warning as fatigue. Camilla, meanwhile, reportedly felt the shift immediately. Insiders claim doctors began directing key medical discussions toward William and Anne rather than her, and when a physician asked to speak privately with the king's children, she allegedly watched the door close between them. According to sources, that moment cut far deeper than protocol ever could. That evening, a specialist allegedly handed William a confidential medical file, and one date reportedly stopped him cold. 3 weeks before the announcement, according to insiders, King Charles had been rehearsing an investiture inside St. George's Hall when his hand suddenly tightened around a chair and his face lost its color. For 11 seconds, sources claim, he could not answer when Anne called his name. The rehearsal was stopped, the doors were closed, and every witness allegedly was instructed to describe it as nothing more than a scheduling delay. That, insiders suggest, is the moment the real crisis began. Anne reportedly reached her brother first, caught his arm, and ordered the rehearsal ended. Charles allegedly refused an ambulance until his sister threatened to end the entire event unless he agreed to be examined. He gave in. A physician reportedly recommended immediate rest and urgent testing. Charles allegedly agreed, then within days began quietly placing meetings back onto his calendar, reportedly believing that stepping away would create panic. William, according to sources, only discovered the truth through that confidential file, learning the incident had never once appeared in the official briefing notes used to keep senior royals informed. His father had allegedly ordered staff not to alarm him. Instead of feeling protected, insiders say the son felt betrayed. What followed, according to accounts from those close to the family, was a direct confrontation. William reportedly carried the file to his father's bedside and asked why he'd been kept in the dark. Charles allegedly insisted the crisis was being handled. William, sources say, refused to back down, telling his father that government briefings and palace authorizations were already reaching him regardless. The prince's anger, insiders claim, finally broke through, accusing Charles of treating love like a weakness to be managed. Charles allegedly fired back that an heir couldn't be burdened with every private fear. William's reported response: he wasn't speaking as the heir, he was speaking as a son who'd nearly learnt the truth too late. Anne, according to sources, didn't soften the moment either, reportedly reminding her brother of his broken promise to rest and telling him plainly, "You made us help you disappear in front of us." Through a later documented conversation, Charles allegedly admitted that stepping back frightened him more than any symptom, fearing that once William carried the full weight, the country might discover the crown could function without him. By dawn, according to insiders, the red boxes had stopped travelling to the king's suite entirely, redirected instead to William. No proclamation was made, no crown changed hands. But inside Windsor, sources say the machinery of monarchy had already quietly shifted. William allegedly took control of briefings and diplomatic communication, while Anne managed the household and cancelled anything that might add pressure. Camilla, according to reports, was reportedly caught off guard, demanding to know why calendar changes were made without her, and Anne's alleged response cut deep. Stability now required decisions without emotional interference. Then, sources claim, a second warning arrived. Charles allegedly suffered another brief heart rhythm disturbance overnight, and this time, insiders say, the family understood there was no returning to normal. William reportedly gathered George, Charlotte, and Louis to explain that their grandfather's heart had become dangerously weak. When George allegedly asked whether this meant his father would become king, William's reported answer was simple: "It means grandfather needs us to be a family first." According to insiders, a private recording later surfaced of Charles thanking Anne for protecting him from his own stubbornness and telling William that leadership begins when fear no longer controls duty. Camilla, sources say, listened alone, and when Charles apologized for shutting her out, she reportedly stopped the recording and covered her face. What followed, according to those familiar with the moment, was a private conversation between Charles, William, and Anne, with no advisors and no witnesses. The king allegedly admitted he'd spent years believing duty meant never letting anyone see him afraid. "I was wrong," he reportedly said, "and it nearly cost me everything." Sources claim Charles agreed to a long-term transfer of major public duties while remaining sovereign during recovery, asking Anne to remain beside William through the transition. By afternoon, according to reports, the long walk outside Windsor filled with flowers and quiet crowds. The palace allegedly released a second statement confirming Charles would remain under specialist supervision with a permanently reduced workload, while William would carry the main public and constitutional burden going forward. That evening, insiders say Charles delivered a brief recorded address, thanking the medical team and the public and telling the country that the crown is strongest when duty is shared, truth is spoken, and love is finally allowed to help. If either part of this is accurate, it may mark one of the most significant shifts in royal responsibility in modern memory, not because a crown changed hands, but because, according to insiders, a family finally stopped pretending. What do you think this means for William's future role and for Charles's reign going forward? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next.